Hello, this is Miss Anders, and today we're going to talk about surface area and volume of pyramids and cones. We've already talked about surface area and volume of prisms and cylinders, and you'll notice some similarities here. On the first page of your notes, you're going to need to use the Quizlet link. This link is active in today's agenda on Canvas, and it's also active here. If you just type this link in letter for letter, symbol for symbol, then it should take you to the Quizlet that you'll need for this vocabulary. Let's go ahead and get started with example 1. Example 1 asks us to find the area of each lateral face of the regular pyramid. We see here that our pyramid has triangular lateral faces, so we're going to look at this one specifically. Notice that all of these lateral faces are the same measurement, so we just need to find the first one, and that will tell us the area of all the other ones. So to find the slant height, which is what I've highlighted here in blue, we're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Remember, c is always the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. Let's focus in on this triangle inside of our regular triangle. Notice this triangle is made up of the height of the triangle itself, right here. The height is 97 meters. It's also made up of the slant height, and it's made up of what if it would be a circle, it would be called a radius, but we're just going to call this half of a side. And we need to use these three measurements to find that slant height. So we're going to write our formula as slant height squared equals the height squared plus 1/2 the side squared. Notice that this is the Pythagorean theorem. We've just replaced the c with the slant height because notice this is the hypotenuse of this little triangle. It's directly opposite the right angle. We have replaced a with h, the height, because it's one of the legs, and we've replaced b with 1/2 s because it's the other leg. Now we just substitute in what we know. We don't know the slant height yet. That's what we're looking for. But we do know that the height is 97. And we do know that the side is 90. So 1/2 of the side is going to be 45. And from here we can just simplify. The slant height squared is going to equal 11,434. We have to square root both sides to get rid of the exponent of 2. So the slant height is equal to 106.93. Now that we have the slant height, we can find the area of this lateral face here. Remember, your formula for the area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. If this side is 90, then this side here must also be 90. We know that because it tells us it's a regular pyramid, so the base must be a square. So area equals 1/2 90 times the height of this triangle here is our slant height, which is 106.93. And if you put that in the calculator, you get the area about 4,812 meters squared. And that is of the lateral face. As we continue, we're going to need a new formula. This formula is the surface area of a regular pyramid. And a regular pyramid is what we're looking at above here with that square base. What we did above was we found the slant height, and then we used the slant height to find the area of just one of the lateral faces. The surface area would be the area of all of the lateral faces plus the area of the base. So it's S equals big B plus 1/2 PL, where big B is the area of the base, P is the perimeter of the base, and this L is the slant height. Keep in mind for the slant height, you may need to use the Pythagorean theorem if they don't just give you the slant height. Now let's look at example 2. Here we're going to find the surface area of a pyramid. Notice that this is a regular pyramid and the base is a hexagon. The formula for the area of a regular polygon, any regular polygon, is 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. If you recall from your Quizlet notes, the apothem is going to be the measure from the center to the midpoint of one of the sides. So this 4 square roots of 3 is the apothem. We're going to start off with the formula and use it to find the area of this base. So the base is going to be 1/2. The apothem here is 4 square roots of 3. And the perimeter is, we see that one side length is 8 and there's 6 side lengths, so it's going to be 8 times 6. And if you put that into the calculator, you're going to get about 96 square roots of 3 inches squared as the base. Alright, so we found the area of the base, and now we just need to use our surface area of a regular pyramid formula. So I'm going to write my formula down first. S equals B plus 1/2 PL. Remember, the area of the base we already found, so it's 96 square roots of 3. The perimeter we already found, 8 times 6, which is 48. And then the slant height, they give that to us right here, is 18 inches. It's pretty nice that they give us a slant height and we don't have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find it. So now all we have to do is put all of this in the calculator and simplify it. And we get about 598.3 inches squared. So the surface area is about 598.3 square inches. The next formula that we're going to need is the surface area of a right cone. The surface area of a right cone is S equals pi r squared plus pi r times this little curvy L. R is the radius of the base of the cone, and L is going to be your slant height. So in example 3, we need to find the surface area of a right cone. We are given the radius, 3 equals r, and we're also given the slant height, which is 5. So this is a pretty simple example here. Write your formula first. S equals pi r squared plus pi r L. I see that r is 3 and our slant height is 5. And so from here we can say 3 squared is 9 pi. 3 times 5 is 15 pi. So our surface area is 24 pi. And we can put that in the calculator and approximate that to be 75.4 meters squared. It's important to understand how to write your answer in terms of pi and as an approximation. Now we're going to get into some three-dimensional math. So here we're looking for the volume of pyramids and cones. Your volume of a pyramid formula is going to be 1/3 times the area of the base times height. So big B is still the area of a base, and H is still the height of the whole figure. Keep in mind that the volume of a pyramid formula is almost exactly the same as a volume of a prism. Remember, your volume of your prism was V equals base times height. So all we're doing here is we're multiplying that by 1/3, because a prism, or a pyramid and a cone is always 1/3 of a prism and 1/3 of a cylinder. Same thing with the volume of a cone. 1/3 area of the base times the height. What's convenient about a cone is that its base is always a circle. So you can write 1/3 pi r squared times the height, where r is the radius and h is the height. And keep in mind that that volume of a cylinder was area of the base times the height, which is actually pi r squared times the height. So all we're doing is multiplying that by 1/3, because a cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. Pyramid is 1/3 of a prism. Example 4, we're going to find the volume of a pyramid. Notice that the base of this pyramid is a regular hexagon, so we can use the formula that we used yesterday. Area equals 3 square roots of 3 over 2 times a squared, where a is the side length. Remember, this was the formula for the area of a regular hexagon. And we need this formula because we're using area equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. It's actually not area, is it? It's volume. Volume equals 1/3 area of the base times height. So in order to find the area of the base, we've got to use the formula for the area of a regular hexagon. Using this formula, we substitute in the side length, which is 4. Area equals 3 square roots of 3 times 4 over 2. And we get about 41.57 inches squared. So that's what we're going to use as our big B. 41.57. Also remember that h is the height of the entire figure itself, and in this case it's going to be 10. This figure is not a right pyramid, but you can still find the volume the same way. So all we have to do is substitute in 41.57 for the area of the base and 10 for the height. So our volume is approximately 138.6 cubic inches. Keep in mind that even though this pyramid is not a right pyramid, you can still use the same formula. Cavalieri's principle still applies. For example 5, we have two different types of cones. We've got a right circular cone and an oblique circular cone. Notice that for our right circular cone, we're going to use our formula V equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. The area of the base, since this is a circular base, the area is pi r squared, and then that's times the height. The radius is 9.5, and the height is 16.8. And once you substitute in your radius and your height, you just have to put this into the calculator, and you can get 505.4 pi, or about 1,588 cubic millimeters. So it's as simple as using the formula. Your oblique circular cone is going to work exactly the same way. It's not a right circular cone, but it still has the same formula. So volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. Our area of the base is pi r squared, and that's still times the height. The radius is 4.5. And the height is 12. So you just need to put all of that into the calculator, and you'll get the volume of the cone being 81 pi, or about 254 cubic feet. So they both work the same way. They're pretty simple given the formulas. Here's our last example, using the volume of a cone. So this is one of those working backwards type of examples. We know that we're working with volume, and we know that we're being given a cone, and that clues us into the formula that we need to use, which is volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. Remember that our area of the base for a circle is pi r squared, so volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times the height. Notice that our volume is 135 meters squared. Our radius is what we don't know. That's what we need to find. So we call it x. And the height is 8. So we substitute in our givens. 135 equals 1/3 times pi times x squared times 8. Now we just need to simplify. We need to get x all by itself. So the first thing that I would do is I would multiply out the 3. If I multiply both sides by 3, I get rid of it on the denominator. So on the left, I'm going to get 405, which is 135 times 3. And on the right, those 3's are going to cancel. So I'm just going to be left with 8 pi times x squared. Notice I moved that 8 to the front just to make it a little bit easier to read. I'm still wanting to get x by itself, so I need to divide out the 8 pi. Notice it's going to cancel the 8 pi on the right. Now 405 divided by 8 pi is going to be about 16.11. And all we have to do now is get that x by itself by square rooting both sides of the equation. So x is going to equal about 4.01. So the radius of the cone is approximately 4.01 meters. And notice all we had to do was use the original equation that we have been using and work backwards and solve for that missing piece.